Hello, everyone. Thank you very much to the faculty, the dean, the professors, the students, of course. I'm very pleased to be here, and I would like to thank, of course, very much the Cultural Institute that organized this celebration of the very important day of International Day of Mathematics, and also inviting Professor Mastro Giacomo that will deliver a lecture later. But I thought I would like to give a short presentation, a little bit substantial about Italian mathematicians' contribution to the history and development of mathematics. And we start with Tullio Levi-Civita, because when he was asked what he liked most about Italy, Albert Einstein replied, "Spaghetti and Levi-Civita." While everyone knows what spaghetti is, I'm afraid maybe you know, because we are in this faculty, but the general public, I'm afraid that they do not know who Tullio Levi-Civita is. And even if he gave an essential contribution to mathematics with his work on differential calculus applied to the theory of relativity. So that's why Albert Einstein liked him. And to Levi-Civita, a crater on the moon and asteroid have been dedicated. Well, Italy usually is associated with good food, fashion, design, but unfortunately not always with the scientific world, and in particular mathematics, to which it has instead made a very great contribution throughout history. Einstein, as I said before, who, by the way, could also speak and write well in Italian, because he lived when he was young with the family in Italy near Pavia, knew this. And so I will mention a few of those mathematicians. First of all, let's think about Fibonacci, also known as Leonardo of Pisa, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time, who introduced the 9 digits that he defined as Indian at the time, and the symbol 0, in Latin Zephyrus, from the Arabic Zifr, which in Venetian became Zevero, from which we have 0, 0. Fibonacci is today famous above all for the sequence, where each number is the sum of the previous 2 numbers, and you know that November 23rd is celebrated as Fibonacci Day internationally, because when the date is written in the format 1123, the digits in the date form the Fibonacci sequence. Then we have Paolo da Gomari, that gained the epithet of Paolo dell'Abaco, abacus, that introduced the period or comma as a device for separating numbers into groups of 3 for easing calculations on the order of thousands and millions. And he is most famous for his work on equations. We go to the next century, and in 1494, Luca Pacioli published a mathematical encyclopedia. And in one of the chapters, Tractatus de Computis et Scripturis, the double entry accounting concept is presented in a structured way that was already known in the mercantile environment, debit and credit, balance sheet, inventory, which then spread throughout Europe under the name of Venetian method. I also would like to mention the formula of Cardano-Tartaglia, Gerolamo Cardano and Niccolò Tartaglia, relating to the cubic equation that presents itself or can be transformed into a polynomial form in which the maximum degree of the unknown is the third. These mathematicians brought about a series of improvements to the method due to various authors of the Italian algebraic school, starting with Scipione del Ferro, to whom the first general solving method for this class of equations is owed. There could be a long story about Tartaglia and the fight they had about this discovery. Then I would like to mention Galileo Galilei, the father of modern science, as we were saying before during the lunch, and for having introduced the experimental method. I will limit myself to only one quote. Philosophy is written in this great book, of which is continually open before our eyes, I mean the universe, But we cannot understand it if we do not first learn to understand the language and recognize the characters in which it is written. It is written in the language of mathematics, and its letters are triangles, circles, and other geometric figures, without which it is impossible to understand a single human word. Without these, one wanders vainly through an obscure labyrinth. Paolo Ruffini's name is linked to the Abel-Ruffini theorem, a partial demonstration of the algebraic intractability of equations of degree higher than 4 through group theory, and to the rule of decomposition of polynomials. Now I'll go back to where I started from with Gregorio Ricci Curbastro, who, with Tullio Levi-Civita, wrote the fundamental treatise on absolute differential calculus with coordinates, which played a decisive role in the development on the theory of relativity, as can be seen from a letter written by Albert Einstein to Ricci Curbastro's niece. In fact, Einstein himself, when he was already famous, wanted to meet him in person, and the meeting took place on October 27 of 1921 at the University of Padua. Finally, to highlight that research continues today, I'd like to mention a woman in the long series of men, living a woman, Alessandra Celletti, who has been chairing the Women in Mathematics Commission of the European Mathematical Society since 2017, and who in 2023 received the Brower Career Award from the American Astronomical Society. And to her, in her honor, asteroid 2005 DJ1 was named 117539 Celletti. So I think that is a very brief overview of a contribution of Italian mathematicians to the science that I would also like to conclude has no borders by definition. So we can be proud of our, let's say, national achievements, but science should be free and without borders. Thank you very much.